Why not make money off something you love?
Welcome back. This is Stacy. I'm here with Molly from Mad Bliss Jewelry. She's going to tell you how she has a part-time business selling jewelry. Hi Molly, thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Stacy.
I wanted to have you here because you make beautiful jewelry and wanted to kind of ask you a few questions and let people know how they can have their own business and start. And I know that this is something that you do out of passion. Your work is beautiful. So we can kind of just start with how did you get started making jewelry?
I do have such a passion for jewelry. I love gemstones. I love flowers. I love crystals. Wire. And when I was about 12 years old, 13 years old, I was involved in a school program called Micro Society. It was an entrepreneurial based school. Through this Micro Society, we were encouraged to create our own abundance, and so I had a passion for jewelry design. As a young girl, I was gifted a box of beads, and from then I just started exploring with beads. And it was really fun making money off something that is a hobby and a craft. We would have school fairs. They would let me have a table.
But 12 years old when you started selling jewelry, did you start learning about marketing at that point?
Yeah, very simple marketing costs and sales. I had business cards.
I'm going to have you catch us up till now. Just so I'm clear, this is not your main job. You've been working full time, gone to college. This is just something that you've done on the side for years.
Right. So I went to UC Riverside and I got a marketing degree. I knew I was always super creative minded and that I wanted to own a business in the future. During college, I was not making jewelry and selling, but I studied abroad in Barcelona and working a lot on creating inventory when I was in Barcelona. People selling product at the park, and so I brought a shawl and I brought jewelry and I just sat at the park and I put my stuff out and nobody bought anything, but people came and talked to me and that was really cool. I'm in another country, and
so it sounds like it was even just a hobby and a way for you to relax at that point.
Yeah, well, I was in Spain studying abroad. I think making jewelry kind of gave me something that reminded me of home, and I connect really deeply to the crystals. I have some pieces in front of me. It's all about the crystals. In Spain, they have beautiful crystals. Making art is something I love. Why not make money off something you love?
Okay, so if somebody has something that they love, for you it's going to be jewelry. For other people, it could be something else. How do you get from where you were, where you're enjoying what you're doing, to making money? Just good.
You talk to people and you tell them what you can supply and what you can offer, and you be confident in what you can give. A lot of my sales come from vending at local events. Thankfully, I live in LA. We live in LA, which is a mecca center for...
We're trying to go on with the interview and her dog Kaya is barking. You want to go grab Kaya?
Yeah, we can show you this beautiful little beast.
Kaya.
This little one. We live in LA, which is a huge epicenter for art. There's so many opportunities to sell your art. It definitely takes putting yourself out there. So some days you're sitting there for hours and you're putting yourself and your emotions and your art out on the table and you don't get much in return. Then there are those days where everyone really gets drawn to your stuff and they're buying, and it feels really good because you're sharing your art and you're sharing a part of yourself, and people are drawn to that. Also, Instagram is a huge platform for influencers, for vendors, for event curators. There are a lot of people hosting that want to support local artists.
Okay, now I know the last few months we've had an illness and a shutdown, and I assume since you're talking so much about live events, you've had to pivot your business.
Yeah.
So what ways have you done to pivot, and how are you marketing yourself, and what are the platforms you're selling on? And give us the names of them so people that want to find you can find you.
I've totally changed my methods of selling. I definitely have been hit pretty strong. Thankfully, I have my job and I have my hobbies. So I still have my abundance and my financial support in other ways. I guess during this time period, online sales have really been my backbone. It is hard to sell online. I use Squarespace and I use Etsy. Squarespace I like more than Etsy because Etsy charges fees. So every sale you make, they take about 10% of the sale, and then also they take for shipping, and it turns out to be quite a bit that they take from the artists. Squarespace, you pay one fee. It's $250 for the domain for the year, and then there are no fees.
Somebody wants to find you on Squarespace. How do they find you?
Squarespace, you don't even have to type anything about Squarespace. It would be theFloraFaunaGirls.com. Through Etsy, it would be Mad Bliss Jewelry.
go to Squarespace, she gets more money.
Go to Squarespace. I've been working with resin since I've had so much time to explore the outdoors, and I make, this is a butterfly wing earring and chamomile flower earrings.
And these are beautiful in person.
Lavender. So I've been using like real flowers in my jewelry, and then I also do the wire wrapped. So this is the Mad Bliss, and my Instagram is very active.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is mad.bliss or the Flora Fauna Girls, and I always post where I'll be selling.
Okay, can you give us just a couple minute description on how you make your jewelry?
I love to go in nature and collect flowers. Of course, always thanking the earth for taking the flowers. Sometimes it's flowers that I've grown. Sometimes it's my local hiking trails. When the spring hits, it's the perfect time to collect. I dry the flowers, either flatten them or hang them to dry, and then I use molds, or some of them are hand dipped in resin. Resin is a chemical, like two chemicals that when you put them together, they solidify and form kind of like a plastic substance. Being able to preserve a flower, it keeps its color, it keeps its shape, and I don't really know any other ways to do that. And that's how I get like these pieces.
So how long would something like this take you to make?
So it's a process. The drying, it takes about 4 days. 4 days to like look at a perfect flower. No,
okay.
Of course a couple hours to pick them, and then we have to like flatten them. So I have a book to flatten them, and then they sit there and dry for a couple days. And then I put it in the mold and I pour the resin. The whole resin like process takes probably like 2 hours to do my molds and create.
It's a lot of work.
And then they sit for 24 hours to harden. And then once the pieces are hardened, I have to turn those pieces into jewelry. So it's a piece of plastic, then becomes jewelry. So yeah, a couple days. So my other business, wire work. I use different size wires and I wrap wires to hold rocks. Usually I like let the stone speak to me kind of how it wants to be wrapped. I don't like to cover too much of the stone.
So is that what this one is?
Right. So this is a labradorite that's wrapped in antique copper.
So every piece of jewelry is completely unique.
Right. Exactly. It's an important tidbit when you sell, like pay attention to what people like and what people don't like, and even if it's maybe not what you like the best, if people are buying it and digging it, like keep flowing with that, because obviously the people know what they want.
What do you do about shipping? I'm sure you have to be careful with these pieces, and you don't want to be too time consuming. So how do you ship the items?
So I actually save bubble wrap from when I receive crystals. They usually come in bubble wrap, so I save all of my bubble wrap so that I can like ship in that same bubble wrap. Instead of buying packaging from the post office when you get there, I go to Walmart and I buy packaging for quite a lower price, and then having it at home, you're able to write out all of your labeling before you get to the post office so that it's not awkward at the post office.
Did you get a business license?
I have a seller's permit.
Okay.
And with the seller's permit, it's linked to my Mad Bliss jewelry, and every year I get a letter. I just got that letter for paying taxes. So, and then Squarespace is a little different because Squarespace takes taxes from the buyer. I believe that they save like taxes through Stripe, which is the payment account.
That's convenient. What do you do about returns if somebody's not happy with a piece?
Only once have I had somebody like have a piece break, which is of course really embarrassing. I just make a new one for them and send it to them.
So people are happy with your
for the most part, people are happy and they buy more in the future.
Yeah, I did notice on your reviews, everybody was 5-star, very happy. So if somebody's watching this and they're like, I want to start a business, but I just don't know where to start. I don't have it in me. I don't have the confidence. What do you have to say to them?
Start creating inventory and show it to your friends and see how they vibe to it. Talk to people about your ideas. I know sometimes it's scary sharing your ideas. Be open with that vulnerability, like tell your friends, hey, I'm sharing this with you, I'd like your advice. And then look for local events that you can just have a table, maybe spend $20 for the day to put yourself on a table and see how people react to it. You have to just put yourself out there. That's really
great advice.
To do it.
Kind of just do it, like the Nike.
Right, just do it. And it can be scary, even for me, after vending for 13 years, it's scary.
This is a good way to make extra money.
Right, great way to make extra money, great way to make rent money and put your paycheck into savings.
Sure, this is a finance channel too. I know you're very good with your money. You're not one of those people that just throws money around. So, and that's actually stereotypically can be kind of unusual for an artist.
Yeah.
So do you want to maybe just a couple words about, how to be smart financially, how to be with your, I know especially if you're an artist, you can sell something, you can get a whole bunch of money all at once. And the first thing you think of is, I can go buy this or that.
Right. My splurges are on art supplies. So I make $400 at a festival. I put $300 like away into savings, or maybe I've spent some money to be there, so I pay myself back for that money. And then I say, okay, Molly, good job. You made $400. You can spend $100 on crystals. And those crystals are going to be used to create something that I'll be able to sell for more money. I'm indulging on business supplies.
That's not even an indulge. So you're saving about 75% of what you make.
I try.
And you're reinvesting 25% back in the company.
Right. I like seeing the number in my savings account grow. And I think it's easy to do so when you have multiple streams of income.
I love it. You've given some great tips.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
Trust yourself and trust your instincts, and like, people are going to support your art. It is so much fun when you sell a piece of your art and the customer just like instantaneously knows that it's for them and puts it on and you see them shining. Getting there might seem stressful and scary, and it is. It totally is, and you're allowed to feel those feelings, but push through them because it is way worth it to be on the other side.
That's great. You are the first person in my series of extra ways to make income. Side jobs mostly. I'm going to be having a few more on, so look out for those.
Nice.
I appreciate it.
I loved being here. Thanks for having me.
All right. You want to say goodbye?
Oh yeah. And this is a product of my last couple months, but she will be vending with me. So if you have a little cutie, like a baby or a puppy vending with you, that draws customers. You know, so she's gonna be my money maker.
It's a business expense.
She doesn't even know, but you know.
I love it. She's pretty cute. All
She's
right.
tired.
We'll see you next time. Bye.